What's up, family? It's your girl D Ray, the Divine Relationship Alchemist, helping you heal your relationship with self to heal your relationship with others. So, for the first time, I have been requested or asked to create a specific video, and I'm so excited to do it because, hey, I just went through the experience, so let's get into it, right? Why you should fast. Why you should fast. An extended fast, let's be specific. Like 1 day fast, that's great. 3 day fast, that's great. I'm really talking about 7 days and up. Okay, 7 days and up, why you should fast to that extent. What did fasting do for me and why I chose to do it? Well, one, as some of you or most of you already know, I had did a fast at the beginning of April for 7 days. That fast I had dedicated to jumping off my business, structuring my mind and my spirit around what my branding was going to be, what services I was going to offer, just really breaking down the thought processes that I needed to in order for me to fully invest in my business and to be disciplined. Let me make the point. You always want to fast with intention, right? And so, like I said, my first 7 day fast from August 1st to August 8th was strictly to break through and just figure out in my mind what I wanted my business model to be, and how I wanted to thrive in my business and what I wanted to do. So it was a fast that was more so for these worldly things, right? And so that's the first thing. When you fast, you always have to know your intentions. But keep going. A week after I ended my first fast that was intentioned just based off my business, I had realized that I had some fears that were kind of tucked away that I did not really know and understand was there. I had some experiences, had some psychological things going on in my mind. And to be honest, I felt anxiety, right? Fear, right? Fear, psychological fear, meaning it was thoughts that was making me scared, making me feel like, oh shit, don't know what's going on. And I was not in like no immediate danger or anything like that. Okay. So I realized, wow, I didn't know that this was a fear of mine. I didn't know that I felt some type of way about this thing. So immediately my spirit charged me into fasting again. So I had to fast a second time. So I fasted the first week, business. Went a week eating. Next week, went right back into another 7 day fast. Why is this important? This is so important because fasts are spiritual, and we got to realize that. Like, fasts are spiritual. It's not just a physical thing. And what I realized what I was doing was actually breaking a karmic pattern. When I did my second fast, I straightened out my path. I let some things go. I released certain things from my spirit, from my mind, from my body. Okay, fasting is threefold. It's multi-dimensional. Obviously, it's physical because you are, with not eating any food. Obviously, that's going to have physical effects. It's mental because food, a lot of times we eat based off of our emotions. So let's say you're thinking about money or something like that. Now you want to eat fries, right? So it's mental. And then obviously it is spiritual because when you lessen the body, then you increase the spirit. So my second fast, I went in intentionally to increase in spirit and to let things go from my mental, my emotional body. And so it was difficult. And in that time, when you go into a fast with intention of having spiritual revelations, your spirit is going to send you things to let you know, okay, this is a part of that fear. This is why you kind of have that fear. This is something that is directly connected with this fear. Okay. So it's challenging. It's not easy. The first day you feel like, okay, I'm doing this. And y'all, this was a spontaneous fast. I had no intentions of fasting again, but the amount of psychological fear that I had felt at that moment, I was like, whoa, this is a problem. Hold on. I got to let this go. I got to figure out what this is and where this stems from. And that's why I did the second fast. So it was totally spiritual, totally spiritually driven, and totally focused and intentioned on releasing, refreshing, renewing, and further again ascending to higher realms. I cannot tell you guys enough how much your emotions, your emotional body, your vibration is what determines what level of spirituality, what level of consciousness that you go to, right? If you still have these emotional blockages or these low vibrational feelings and thought processes, then you cannot go to those realms. Or when you go to those realms, you're not gonna be strong enough to withstand the tests and then the trials that are presented on those levels. And so that had to happen to me. I had to have this wake up call, this kind of like call out to say, you have work to do, but you have to do this work because you're ascending and you're going to higher levels. So I had to do this fast. I had to do it. And so the first day was okay. The second day was okay. Third days are usually the hardest. But for me, the hardest days of both of my fasts, both times that I did it, is the 6th day, right? The 6th day of my fast. And that's funny because I be looking into astrology and numerology and all of these things like that. And I was doing some research and something that said that 6 is my lucky number. 6 is my lucky number. And I believe it now. I know it to be fact. And I have actually took it upon myself and decided that every 6th day of the month, I'm going to fast. Straight fast, straight water, every 6th day of the month, starting in May. All right. And I'm doing that because I know and realize the power of fasting. So now I'm aligning my numbers, my numerology with some more spirit. And I'm just like, I just got to take off. Right. But the 6th day of my fast for me was always the most difficult. Right. And it was that way because so many things came up. I was battling with shit from when I woke up till I went to bed. And so what actually happens, what do I even mean when I say that? I say the experiences that I was having, the conversations I was having with my love, or the interactions I was having with my children, all of these different things shined a light on aspects of myself that played a part in me having this fear that was tucked away that I didn't even know was really there. And it's in those moments, on those 6 days of both of my fasts, that I had to kind of determine, am I going to surrender to this shadow side of myself? Am I going to give in and just say, you know what, I can't do this, I don't care, and just stay in that low vibrational state, that highly emotional state of being? Or am I going to ask my spirit guides, ask my higher self for answers as to why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, and then receive those answers, and based off those answers be able to make a conscious decision on how I will respond instead of always reacting. That is the most important part of fasting, and that's why we fast. We fast so that we are tested to know, are we going to choose to vibrate high despite the apparent circumstances, despite the emotions and things that are coming up within you? I don't know why right now I kind of feel, I don't want to say emotional, but I definitely feel this overwhelming sense of emotion even coming up in me right now. And this last fast was very, very necessary for me, and I will never ever be the same. And that's why I'm choosing to continue to fast and make fasting be a normal part of my lifestyle, a normal part of my being. And as I'm doing it every 6th day of the month, I'll let spirit guide me on, okay, I need to fast for 3 days. So the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. Or maybe I need to go ahead and do 5 days, or maybe I need to do 7 days. Just depending on where my spirit, where my consciousness, where my higher self is trying to get me to align my human with, right? Now, this is another key aspect you have to realize in this fasting. When you fast for spiritual purposes and to release certain aspects and to release certain thought processes, it is not to say that immediately after your fast that those thoughts are going to stop coming. That's not true. All right? Because the thought processes that we have are programs, right? They're chemically based. And so it takes time for our brain to reconfigure and to change those chemicals so that we can have the new and improved thought processes. But what will happen is the emotions connected to those thoughts will change, right? So now I may have the thought of this fear, it may come into my mind, but now I don't feel any type of way about it. Now the thought does not have control over me, but I have control over the thought. And now the thought can just move past my mind. This is so important, right? Because the more you let these thoughts just kind of float away like clouds, they float in, they float out, the less power it has. And so as you are not reacting, right, you're taking away power from that thought, you're taking away power from that entity, and therefore the entity dies off, the thought dies off, right? Because it's not chemically, emotionally charged. When we feel some type of way about the thoughts that we have, we're feeding that thought and we're further letting our brain and our mind know that we want more of it, right? And that's absolutely not true. Of course, you don't want more fearful, negative thoughts, right? So when you fast, you are able to strictly be an observer of the thoughts and not become emotionally involved with the thoughts. Wow, that's why we fast. We fast because you don't have this safety mechanism of food to catch you when you're feeling some type of way. You don't have it. All you have is your thought, your spirit, mind, and in those moments you have to determine, what are you going to do? Are you ready to ascend and to go to higher levels of thinking, higher levels of being, higher levels of consciousness? Are you actually ready to go there? And if your spirit pushes you to fast, then you absolutely are. So don't surrender to your human, to your ego, and give in because your stomach starts growling, okay? When you're fasting, you're going to need to be having a whole bunch of study materials. You need books to be reading. You need content to be looking at. You need something that is going to spiritually feed you. You need to be getting a lot of sunlight. You need to be taking spiritual baths. You need to be meditating. Fasting is a complete, holistic healing mechanism that has the ability to cleanse thought processes, to cleanse past life trauma, to reprogram the DNA. Fasting does all of it, especially when you have intention. All right. So both of the fasts that I just did within the month of April, so this was a powerful month for me. I did mostly water, maybe a green drink every once in a while if I just felt like it was necessary, but mostly just water, and constantly feeding my spirit, feeding my mind with something that was nourishing to my soul and to my highest self. So you got to do it. If you want to break through some walls, if you want to transform, if you want to become anew, if you want to be light, if you want that radiance, if you want that vibrancy, fast. It'll change your life forever. And it really should be a regular practice. Dr. Layla Africa talks about this. Khadijah Samdi talks about this. Dr. Sebi talks about this. It should be a part of your life. It should be kind of even a seasonal thing. But once you feel the benefits of fasting, it becomes something that you decide, you know what? I gotta have it. I have to have it. Okay? Love you guys. Peace.